Damage control today at one of the U.S.'s largest banks. The Wall Street Journal is reporting 3 executives of J.P. Morgan Chase are expected to resign after the bank lost more than $2 billion on a bad bet. The SEC is investigating, and even Jamie Dimon, CEO of the company, agrees regulators should look at them.
We know we were sloppy. We know we were stupid. We know there was bad judgment. We don't know if any of that's true yet. Now, of course, regulators should look at something like this. That's their jobs.
Joining me to discuss this, Senator Bob Menendez, member of the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. Senator, it's always good to have you on. Good morning.
Good to be with you, Chris. Good morning.
You know, Wall Street is a little bit nervous about this, that it's going to lead to more regulation. When you look at what happened here, does it beg for something to be done?
Well, it begs for the regulators who already have the power that we gave them under the Wall Street reform legislation to ensure that risks like this cannot take place, particularly when those risks can become disproportionate to a point in which it's not just the bank individually that's at risk, but collectively our economy. And that's what we want to prevent. We don't want to revisit 2008. So the regulators have the power. They're in the midst of defining exactly what the Volcker rule, that whole issue of self-trading by the banks, is all about.
But do you think that this is covered? Do you think that, I mean, obviously, whatever safeguards were in place didn't work?
Well, the definition that is pending before the regulators, how they define it, could very well cover this. You know, the fact that Jamie Dimon says, you know, it was poorly vetted, poorly supervised, it was stupid, that's all great in hindsight. But the reality is that we need to ensure that what right now is a $2 billion loss, and I've read public reports that suggest could grow as high as $4 billion, that still may not undermine J.P. Morgan, but the question is, J.P. Morgan was supposedly the gold standard in terms of looking at risk and controlling risk. There are a lot of other entities out there that could very well have that type of risk and maybe not sustain such losses. We don't want that to become the collective risk of all of us as taxpayers. This is why the regulators have to get it right and do it well, and that's what we're pushing them to do.
This morning, Senate candidate Elizabeth Warren called for Jamie Dimon to step down to resign as chairman of the board of the New York Fed. Do you think there should be something more that happens to Jamie Dimon?
Well, that will be for J.P. Morgan and its shareholders to decide, but what really I care about is not an individual. I care about a system and having the system controls to ensure that no matter who is at the head of a company, this can't happen.
The president, meantime, has been urging Congress to make it easy for people to refinance their home loans. You've got historic low interest rates. You and Senator Boxer have proposed legislation that could help as many as, I guess, what, 3 million homeowners who wouldn't otherwise be able to refinance because of higher fees. Tell us a little bit about that and why you think it would be such a net positive.
Well, Chris, our Responsible Homeowners Refinancing Act would allow millions, 3 million might be actually at the low end of it, because there are about 17 million homeowners who are locked into Fannie and Freddie Mae mortgages where they can't refinance easily. And we want to take advantage of that historical low rate, about 3.83% right now, and be able to allow a responsible homeowner who's been keeping current on their mortgage, to refinance. So what we do is we take out a lot of the obstacles to refinancing. You know, you have a second mortgage and you can't refinance. This allows you to do it. You have mortgage insurance. You can't refinance. This allows you to do it. You need another appraisal. This allows you to ultimately meet that challenge. In essence, we take out, since the government has this risk already, we take out all of those obstacles to refinancing, and that can save the average homeowner about $4,000 a year. That's significant in 2 ways, Chris. Number one is if that roof I've had that's been leaking, I've just been patching it up because I don't have the money to replace it. I can replace it now, put somebody back to work and preserve my property, or I could use my savings to help pay down a bigger part of my principal, and therefore more quickly reduce the time in which I will liquidate that mortgage. So this is good for the homeowner, good for the economy, and the best thing is that the Congressional Budget Office says it won't cost us a dime because of the number of foreclosures and defaults that we'll prevent.
Senator Bob Menendez, always good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Good to be with you.